Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of our Meet the Caps video series. Tonight's guest is Dylan Breau. Now, Dylan, you are a first-year Bantam AAA player, and you played 2 years at Pee Wee AAA.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the difference between Pee Wee AAA hockey and Bantam AAA.
Well, when I was in Pee Wee, I was one of the bigger players, but since in Bantam, the players are bigger, so it gets kind of harder and the pace is more faster.
Yes, okay. Now, when you played Pee Wee AAA, I believe you played at least mostly as a forward, is that correct?
Yeah.
And this year, did you start as a forward and you moved back to D after that, or how did it go that you ended up playing D this year?
Well, our coach asked us to play D because I think someone was hurt or something.
Right.
And so I went back there and I was kind of learning the position and stuff, and it was kind of hard.
Right. So what do you think of it now? You've played probably most of the season as a defenseman.
Yeah, well, it's different. Yeah.
But you're liking it okay, or?
Yeah.
And you do get to play a few forward shifts. I've seen you play a couple here and there. So
yeah.
Now you've played for the VREDS organization for spring hockey for years and years and years, and I guess you've always played as a forward there. So where are you going to play this spring? Are you going to move back to the forward position, or?
I think I'm going D because I like it a lot better because you get to see the different perspective of both.
Yeah. Okay. So you get to see the kind of the play unfolding and get that, the first pass out and get the play going and that sort of thing, right? Very nice. Okay, so you mentioned that one of the differences between Pee Wee AAA and Bantam AAA is size of the players, speed of the game, and so forth. What's the biggest surprise that you've seen in the league this year as opposed to what you've played in other years?
Well, yeah, like I said, like the players and stuff, and goalies are a lot better.
Okay.
And yeah.
So harder to score goals?
Yeah, and when it gets dumped in your corner and the D, you find there's a lot more pressure coming on you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to be checking behind all the time too, right?
Yeah.
Make sure, see what's going on and who's coming. All right. So Dylan, I know you are big time into hockey. You've played hockey for years, but I'm willing to bet you play other sports as well. So maybe just tell us a little bit about what else you do.
Well, I play soccer a lot, and I like soccer because it's similar to hockey, like the rules and stuff. And I go sailing with my family, and we have a boat out in Mactaquac.
Oh, okay. So in fact, I haven't heard about your sailing before. So what kind of boat is it? A big one? Like how many people could get on it?
It's about like a 20-footer, maybe like a...
Okay.
Yeah, like 7 maybe.
Now, and it's at the on the Mactaquac Head Pond area?
Yeah.
And do you guys ever take it anywhere else to go to boating, or does it always stay there?
I know it's always in Mactaquac.
Okay. Very nice. Well, sailing must be a lot of fun. So, okay, so you're into a number of different things. I know you're very fit as well. So do you do anything else to keep fit, or just play these sports, and is that the main function to keep fit?
Well, I do the Monday things with the Peace and Ed.
Yes.
Yeah, and last summer I did the Kent Seaman workout at the AUC.
Yeah.
And I work out at home sometimes on my days off.
Okay, very nice. Well, it's all paying off, and I know you to be a very fit person, and it pays off, of course, in the games. Okay, so I know you've traveled a lot for hockey, not only in the AAA realm in the winter games, but also in the spring games as well. You've played for the VREDS organization for many years, so you've played lots of different places all over, down into the eastern seaboard of the United States and into Montreal and Quebec, and of course here in Atlantic Canada lots. Do you have a favorite place you like to play? Any particular rink you like to play in, or area of the country you like to go to? I
like the Quebec International Tournament last year because just the atmosphere, like the crowd, there's like thousands of people.
Yeah,
and we actually ended up doing really good in there. We came like second place.
Right.
Our last game was televised, so
yes.
It was really cool.
That was a very neat experience, yeah,
yes.
For sure. Well, that's a great hockey memory, I'm sure, and I know lots of the boys have mentioned many times that was a really good experience for them. Okay, now, tell me about a game day. What do you do during a game day to get ready to play? So what's your kind of routine that you would follow?
Well, I try to eat well, like have spaghetti or something, like carbs, and I try to hydrate a lot.
Yeah.
And the day before, I try to get lots of rest.
Okay. And what kind of, do you like to get a good night's sleep before you play?
Yeah.
So what time do you go to bed at night and that sort of thing? How much sleep do you really need?
Well, if it's like an early morning, say like 6 a.m., I try to go to bed at least 9.
Okay.
So I try to get at least 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah, okay. So 9 or 10 hours of sleep is good enough for you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What about meals? So what do you like to eat? You mentioned carbs and stuff like that. So let's say it's a non-game day and you can eat anything that you want to eat. What would you like to have? So what would you ask your mother to make for you, for example?
Well, for breakfast, I like hash browns and eggs.
Okay.
And lunch, maybe shepherd's pie. I
Okay.
really like that stuff.
Very nice.
And for supper, I just have chicken maybe.
Okay. Any particular restaurants you like to go eat at?
I like Subway and Swiss Chalet.
Okay. Very good. Any particular sub you get at Subway?
I like that roast and chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So we've covered food and getting ready for games and so forth. What about spare time? What kind of activities do you like to do when you're just relaxing and killing time?
Well, I like to go see movies with my friends at the theaters.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll go outside biking and stuff.
All right.
And sometimes I play my PS3.
Okay. Now, movies. Any particular type of movie you like? Science fiction, thrillers, comedies, anything in particular?
I really like watching horror movies. I find they have a lot more action.
Okay. Any particular favorite movie that you've got that comes to mind?
I like Paranormal Activity 3.
Okay. Wow. All right. Very, very interesting. Okay. Would you have any particular unusual fact about yourself that people might not know? So we know you to be quite an athlete, and now we're knowing a little bit more about you. You like music and some of the things you like to eat. But any unusual facts about yourself?
Well, I actually really like 2% chocolate milk, and I don't really like 1% because I find it tastes kind of funny.
All right, fair enough. That's a good one. Okay, school. Let's talk about school for a second. What is your favorite subject in school?
I like gym, but we've been doing a lot of basketball. I don't really like basketball, so
Okay.
I'm not starting to like it that much anymore.
All right, so gym is a favorite. What's your least favorite subject?
Probably music. I'm not really a big fan of music.
Okay. Now, speaking of music, would you listen to music when you get to the rink? Because usually there's music playing in the dressing room. Are you kind of into that, or it doesn't make any difference to you?
No, I'm into music at the rink. Yeah, they play
Okay.
some heavy stuff and some rap, and I like that stuff.
So, before a game, do you like to be in the room with the guys, kind of, everyone, getting ready for the game together, or do you like to get away from that, or what's your kind of pre-game routine when you're actually at the rink?
No, I like being with the guys because they have some good things to say about the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who are some of the funnier guys on the team?
Well, Pat's pretty funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's usually in the middle of the room talking.
Okay, very good. All right, so tell me a little bit more about NHL hockey. So we'll broach that subject. Who's just your favorite team?
The Montreal Canadiens, actually.
Habs fan.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a few of those. Okay, so you've always been a Habs fan?
Yeah.
Have you been to Montreal to see a game?
Yes, I went last year with my family and my grandparents, actually.
Okay.
We went to the Bell Center and we saw Montreal against Toronto. And
Wow.
Montreal ended up winning like 4-3, I think.
Wow, that must have been an awesome game.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a favorite Montreal player?
Thomas Plekanec.
Okay, very good. Okay, so at this point in the season, now Montreal has had a bit of a tough year.
Yeah.
They've actually played better the last few games. In fact, they're coming off probably two of their better games in the last week or so. Who do you think is going to make it to the Stanley Cup final if the final was played in another week or so? Who would actually be there?
Well, I think Boston would be there for sure because last year, I remember Montreal playing against Boston. Tim Thomas kept stoning them, so I think
Yeah.
Thomas is going to bring Boston there for sure.
Okay.
And maybe I'm not sure.
So maybe Detroit or something like that, or
Maybe Detroit, yeah.
Vancouver. Vancouver might get back there again as well, right? So now Montreal is still not out of it, so it's still possible they could end up getting in there. So we'll just have to watch and see where they go. Okay, now if you could meet anybody, so if we could bring into the room anybody at all for you to meet, living or dead, who comes to mind that you'd like to meet? Kind of maybe a famous person, or it could be an athlete.
Sidney Crosby, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he really inspires me to play really hard every shift because I want to be as good as him.
Yeah.
And he's a great Canadian athlete, and I think he sets an example everywhere.
Yeah, great role model, Atlantic Canadian guy as well, which is kind of nice. And it looks like there's some good news with Sidney. It looks like they've found out that his concussion-like symptoms may be caused by a neck injury,
Yeah.
which should be a little bit more treatable than the concussion-related things that they thought it was. So we may see him back this year yet, which would be just wonderful. Okay, now, if I could give you 2 tickets to any sporting event in the world, and it could be one that's already happened and you want to go back and watch it again, or it could be one for the future, what would you like to go see?
Well, I'd like to go back to 1993 where the Habs actually won the cup again.
Oh yeah.
And I think I'd bring my dad because he's a huge Habs fan too.
Okay, that was Patrick Roy was in that, and that was the year that they had all those overtime games that they won, and so yeah, that was a real big year for Montreal. Yeah. Absolutely, and one of their 24 cups. So that was a big time for a lot of Montreal fans. I remember that very well. Okay, just a couple of wrap-up questions here. What are your hockey goals for the next few years? Where would you like to see yourself playing, and what do you plan to do?
Well, I like to play for the Q, and like I said, I'll just keep working out, making myself bigger and stronger, and maybe do some biking and pump up my legs, make me faster on the ice.
Okay, very good. So all the fitness stuff you're doing will help with that, and of course all the spring hockey, and perhaps another season here of Bantam AAA hockey, and it'll all work towards that goal, I'm sure. Okay, and my last question for you is, what will be the key for the Caps' success for the remaining of this year?
Well, I find like when we're going in the corners, like we tend to bail really a lot.
Okay.
And we just gotta start being more as a team, maybe in the dressing rooms and stuff, because we tend to get like off topic about the game.
Yeah. So when you say you're about going in the corner, so we're actually losing the puck to the other team when we probably could hold possession longer, or regain possession. Okay. Yeah, those are two good points. So those things I'm sure would help. And I think we've got 6 regular season games left, including a couple this weekend. Maybe there's 8 actually. I have to look at the schedule again, but we've got 6 or 8 games, and then we're into provincials in the middle of March. So hopefully between now and the end of the year we can get on a nice winning streak and see where the future goes. My last question for you is, you have siblings, at least one, a brother. Any other brothers or sisters?
Nope. It's my brother.
What's the most annoying thing about your brother?
When if he kind of makes fun of me sometimes, I tend to kind of push him, and then he goes tells on me, and I kind of get in trouble and get grounded, and that kind of pisses me off.
All right, okay.